Okay, so 1 second. The magician simply use flash paper. Right. Uh, hmm. Okay, so you can kind of use flash paper in a bunch of different ways. So I guess that's okay. I can just write what I want to, even if it's not that great. Uh, Zanzibar quickly produces piece of flash paper and crumple it into a ball, placing it in his palm. Turning his palm upward, places the crumpled all into his hand, then lights it to reveal when smoke appears, when it burns up, smoke starts seeming to pour from his hand. Eventually, the whole room filled with smoke as he runs out. The back. Let's say the back. I'm actually picturing like a ballroom area or like near the dining room, maybe where there's a stage, and so he does this thing and he runs when it's filled with he runs out to the kitchen and he runs uh, out through the double doors outside to escape. But here, it's one, two, continue. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have more like more kind of debug options, more playtest deals, or like maybe you can navigate through the pages that you've already been in, or the pages it just shows the whole page layout. Um, think about that for a second. So that's what I was working on the layout tool. It doesn't have a save feature or anything, but see, what I think I'll do is since it's a self-contained scene, I'll eventually take that scene and actually integrate it somehow into the project. Well, it's already in there. I'll just I'll have readout like switch scenes depending on like with a key or something, and maybe find a way to save its position, save the player's position, maybe. Um, so so that way you can kind of edit and test it. Right now, there's no real editing. It's just the camera's just showing the layout. But maybe Switch Room can. Hmm, I have to think about that for a second. But I'll make it to where you can actually run the editor from the game itself. So that might make things a little more useful. It was the heat of the moment telling us what our hearts meant. It was the heat of the moment shown in your eyes. Okay, so it when we continue. Okay, that's good. This one, teleportation cabinet. Um, let's see something. Let's think. Uh, okay. The teleportation cabinet still on the stage, but he decides get in it. When the door opens by itself, he's gone. With decides to get in it. Actually, what do I have up in here? I have a thing that says, um, audience. They're confused. Okay, so that doesn't really matter if it says that. This is only 2 lines. There's like not much here. That's all right though. Oh, I forgot to. I didn't write down. I have to fill out the other parts of these rooms, including the doors, of course. The Doves of Peace. So I have to somehow justify the Doves of Peace one because the idea is that it's a grand finale, and presumably he's already performed his show, so he can't use that as the grand finale. So, what's a logical explanation for him to decide to not have used it? Or maybe it was set up just in case he wanted to use it. Zanzibar remembers he has a master chord that will open all the bird cages in, in case he wants to do that for a finale. Zanzibar starts running off the stage as the crowd closes in and yanks the birdcage cord. Suddenly, hundreds of birds fly out uh, onto the stage and out into the room, confusing everyone in the process. Zanzibar makes his escape in the confusion. Hit 1 to continue. Okay, looks good. Now let's go ahead and copy the chapter. Copy. And so let's put it in the chapters. Paste. 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 And then we type in a flash. Okay, and then this one's called teleportation cabinet. Yeah, I know, not very imaginative, but um, piece. And Control S and say room data. And let's go ahead. Let's go to the door. Copy. Then go ahead and give them these doors. Paste. Paste and paste. Is there room data? Very good. And this one. Control V, and we're gonna go ahead and 1, 2, oh, 2, 3. Now, pull this up. Smoke, cabinet, birds. Okay. Flash of smoke. No. Copy. Control V. Next one. Copy. Control V. Okay, and copy. And Control V. Wait a second. Teleportation cabinet. It's space. It's 009 underscore T4 T2 dash. And scene, reload, save scene. Reload, save scene. And there we have it. So now chapter 9 is finished. How about that? Chapter 9. Chapter 9. Thanks. Under Q even, although nation is fine. Okay. Okay, so let's count how many we ended up with. Okay. And there we go. We have 15 pages, which fits neatly into my 20 pages. It's not too short, it's not too long. And done good. Now I have to do the testing, which is the boring part. And it's also partly boring because I have to, in order to go backwards, I have to bring up switch room, and then I have to know the room name and all that stuff. That's why I need to add more debugging help. I could work on the layout tool to where it'll select a room depending on the current room you have selected. That's a thought. Maybe you should have a little play button on each of the rooms in the layout tool, so that you hit the play and it automatically starts playing the game from there. Might be a good idea. I'll have to see about if there's anything I have to do when switching between scenes, because this is just the layout tool is a separate scene, self-contained scene, right? Do I have to do anything to make sure that I don't have anything to save, so it's not really much of a problem, but I don't know, saving a position where you're at or something. Because what I'll have to do ultimately is it'll have to um, I'll be playing it, and then I'll select whatever the key is for the editor, and then it's gonna have to make sure that the camera goes to that particular room panel, so that way I can edit it back and forth. I can like switch back and forth. I have to figure that out. I have to figure out what considerations I would need to consider, what things I would need to consider when trying to build it to where it'll jump into the editor and back out of it and still keep your place and everything. It's not going to be that hard because I can save whatever the current room is, and then I can also return back to it when I restart. But maybe there's a way that I can keep both running in memory, so to speak, where I don't have to reload anything, where it's already loaded and it stays loaded, it stays persistent. I wonder something. This is a thing I can ask an AI. Obviously not Claude. Okay. Let's use Brave Leo just for something quick. In redot, essentially, fork of Godot 4.3 because I don't have the newest ones yet. I'm still on 4.3. I have to upgrade here pretty soon. Um, Essentially a fork of Godot 4.3. A way to switch and be between scenes without having to reload them each time. You can switch between scenes without reloading them by managing scene transitions manually instead of using get tree change scene. This approach avoids destroying and recreating scenes, preserving their state. Key methods to achieve this: use load instead of preload for scene references to avoid cyclic dependency errors when switching between. Use load instead of preload when you preload first, and then I don't know. Scene instances alive by loading them once with a load path. Oh right, loading them and storing them as instance variables. I forgot about that. That's right. I can just do that. That's pretty easy. Global scene manager, auto-loaded script to maintain references to all scenes and handle switching logic centrally. I mean, I don't really need to do a lot of things because I'm not I don't have millions of scenes. I did that on purpose. I didn't have all the scenes. I put them in all in JSONs. So if I load them once, they'll still be in memory as long as the instance is kept alive. So I can probably do a pretty easy switch. And that ways I can then I only have to worry about um, figuring out where the camera is supposed to go to center it on a particular room, right? And then making sure it selects that room. So I could that shouldn't be very hard to do, but I'll have to do it sometime. I don't know when. I mean, it would really help a lot on this right now, so I wouldn't have to go and run the switch room every time. The other thing I could do as far as the switching room thing is just make sure it doesn't clear out the bar, and I can reuse it then that way. So um, that would help a little bit. So now the only thing is doing that partly is I would always have to remove the camera back to, or I'd have to go and reselect whatever scene I wanted to select to go back into the game with because it would go where it left off, or I can save it. I can leave it at whatever I switched it with. In other words, I could leave it at whatever room I switched it with last. So whatever was selected, and then I switched to the game, and then I played the game, and then go back, and it automatically goes back to that original. It doesn't reset it, or I mean, it doesn't work based off of. Let's see. Let me think about this for a second. You you're gonna test something, right? But then you need to edit it. You're in the editor. You select one. It goes and jumps to that scene that you selected. Okay. Then you play the scene out, and then when you go back, it should remain. What? Okay, so if I have the instance in memory and I saved the last thing that was selected, I leave it on the last thing that was selected and don't clear it. Then it should be pretty easy just to go back to where it was. And that way, I don't have to it doesn't have to go all the way down and then so going into the editor from the game would not do anything to it. So it would only matter if you right. So that way, if I wanted to restart something, um, I might do that. If I wanted to restart, okay, that kind of makes sense. Um, I don't know if I have enough time to do it, but I wonder if I can go to, let's see, let's go to the room manager. Wait, let's go to the scripts. Let's go to the room manager script. There. What? It shouldn't do anything when I switch it. Oh, I do. I know what it's doing though. Um, 2D. Uh, reload save scene. I had it clear out before. Um, I need to fix it where it doesn't clear it out. There was kind of a reason that I did that, so I wouldn't get like a bunches of duplicates and stuff. And I don't even know if I still need it. Um, if I stop it from clearing out the rooms when I switch scenes, then anyways, it doesn't really matter that much. Change room, online, edit text submitted. Change room ID. Should I should I call it SR or SW to switch room? Clear after submission. I don't want to clear after submission, so we're gonna comment this out, and then we are going to Mac. Never heard of it. Okay, so let's SR SRSW. Anybody have any ideas? Here, I'll ask the AI. So I have a little debug feature in my game that switches rooms when I type switch room. ID. If I were to shorten it, would I use SR or SW? SW is a better choice for debug command to switch rooms. As the common command abbreviations, SW for switch in programming console context, Star Word, game line tools, or for switch is widely used. Search, Sunrise Specialist, technical context. SW is more intuitive and less ambiguous for switch room. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Okay, then I will use SW. Let's use SW. Oh, hey, John. Welcome to the show. Um, this is a little debug option I have in the game. Here, let me show you how it works. Um, let's see. Let's find a particular jumping books, or maybe I guess I should go ahead and start where the current deal is. Not 16. it'd be chapter 9. Where is the start of chapter 7, 8? 8's not been filled out yet. 9. This one. Actually, we'll do this one here. Let me copy the text. Copy, and let's run the game. And we're gonna pop up this little dealie. I'm gonna call SW, and then I'm gonna paste my deal, and then we're gonna switch. Then the bars left show. One to continue. I got double. These are double text. This is actually the original text here, and this is the new modified version after I started putting in pages. So I usually leave the old text there while I'm working out the new text. Uh, Here, let's go into 3, 1 to continue. Now let's go ahead and hit that. Okay. I still have to do this then. Okay. Line edit clear. Here, line edit dot 2. So I see. I see. So let's there we go. Let's try this again. Okay, that. 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, let's do this again. That. Good. So I had it clear before because I wanted you to be prepared for a new like command or a new room or whatever, and I realized that sometimes I have to go through several times in order to get through all the options, to test all the options, and that's what I'm doing here. So I'm going to test the options, and I'm going to read from the actual one that I'm using here. So this is the actual game here. These 3D objects were just because later on I'll be doing something with 3D space with the backgrounds maybe, and I figured I should put a couple of objects in the background. But the only thing is I don't know if when I'll be doing that, and I won't be even adding anything in there until quite a bit of time. Although what I'm going to try to do is I think this can be run on the web. I think they've got export tools to be able to export it to the web so that I can play this online. And I'll probably leave that in there to see if it works. And if it works online with these two 3D objects in the background, then I'll just leave them because eventually, like I said, it's going to be in 3D space. So when I start putting images, I'm going to post images in 3D space, but that align directly with the text over here on the left. So so that I'm ready when I'm actually get into doing that. So okay, so let's hit 1 here. The starts putting on more shows with the help of Max's men. The shows keep drawing bigger crowds, and after each show goes back to his tent. He instructs Corvus to take their money to the special hiding place when no one is looking. And I need a period after there, but that's okay. The men start taking audience members, but manage to notice Corvus flying off. One of the henchmen reports back to Max in his minds via the magic mirror. Okay, let's hit 1. Max gets a clue. In his mind, Max takes the magic mirror call. One of his men says they notice Corvus flying off after every show with a small bag. Max tells them to find the stash before he comes, and they follow Corvus. The henchmen lose him before they can find out about the location. Reporting back, Max angrily decides to join them early to find the stash himself. So when Max gets there, the men tell him they lost Corvus somewhere in the Tri-Cities area. Okay, so we're just gonna do these in order. Let's check Trouserton. Max and his henchmen travel to Trouserton. He asks people there if they've seen Zanzibar since his last show there. Nobody's interested except in trousers, so eventually he buys a pair of trousers. The shopkeeper where he bought them at told him he might have gone south. It just so happens that Trouserton is above both Leperton and Resterton. So you can either go to 1 to Leperton or you can go to 2, head toward the ghost town of Resterton. Okay, so we're gonna hit 1 all of these until we get to the end of the chapter, and then I will jump back and then I will start doing the next ones. So 1, Max tries Leperton. He tries asking several citizens if they know Zanzibar has been there since the last show. Everyone apparently doesn't know anything. When a citizen tell them they might as well ask the sheep as ask them. One of the henchmen attempts to talk to a sheep, but it only responds with this bleating. The only city left in the area is Resterton. Go to Resterton. Okay. There's a difference between name. Originally, I called it Chillington, and then I call it Resterton, and I'm frankly not really happy with either one. But basically, it's a real ghost town. Basically, the denizens of Enchanted lands that die with some business left to do uh, make their way to Resterton or Chillington, and you can't really interact with them because they're ghosts. And later on in the game, I might later on in the development in the future, I might have a puzzle where you actually manage to interact with the ghosts later sometime, maybe. Okay, so Max comes to Resterton, realizing it's probably the perfect place since no one speaks here. Max solicits ideas from 2 henchmen who are following him. One mentions the stables would be placed uh, on what I have to fix that. Would be a place on one would look for loot. The other mentions the bank as an obvious choice. Max considers for a moment and says also the hotel safe could work. Okay, so we're just going to check 1. We're checking the stables. Max decides to head to the stables. The henchmen are a bit fearful since this is a ghost town. They hear noises and voices, but of course can't see anyone there. Max looks for himself in each stall and finally finds a hayloft near the front. And finally, in the hayloft near the front, finding the massive bag of coins, he takes it and they leave. Hit 1 to continue. Final push. Max proposes one final big show in the hotel. Actually, what I should do now is I should go back and I should go back to do the other options before I hit the final push here. So let's go. Let's do this, and we'll go back here again. 1 to continue. Okay, so we hit 1. Okay, now instead of now we'll still hit Trouserton here. So let's hit Trouserton again. But this time we're going to go directly to Resterton, which is the same one that we already looked at. It's actually the same page. They link to the same page. So so now we're going to go ahead and check out the hotel. Max goes into the hotel, which seems to also be bustling with ghastly activity. So he goes. Also, because I have one page that says it's bustling with the activity, and that's the bank. And so maybe I should remove that also in there. So he goes behind the desk clerk and takes a right, presumably into presumably the manager's office. There happens to be a safe there, and he waits. In not too long of a wait, a ghost comes in with some jewels and opens the safe. Max pays attention to the combination and then opens the safe to find a bag in there. Looking inside, Max is satisfied, so him and the henchmen leave. 1 to continue. Okay, now we're back at the final push. Now let's go back again. Go back here. 1 to continue. And 1 again. And this time, we don't need to check out Trouserton. Now we're going to check out Leperton. We're going to check out number 3. Max tries Leperton first. He tries asking several citizens if they know if Zanzibar has been there since the last show. Apparently, everyone apparently doesn't know anything. One citizen tells them they might as well ask the sheep as ask them. Well, actually, I see. We actually went into that. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So this is different. This is the same page, but because it's in a different order, I slightly the text is slightly modified, even though it's the actual same like location. Because the way this works is sort of like a choose your own adventure where it always goes forward, but unlike a choose your own adventure, it does. I don't have any loopbacks. It all goes forward. So if I want them to go back to a page, if I wanted to go to another page, I have to add another page. Now, if there's a thing though where I can structure it to where it's still going forward, In other words, if I had two up here and I have one over here, that eventually goes to, then you can still go to the other two. I can actually show you in the layout here in just a sec to show you what I mean. Okay, so he tries asking. Okay, apparently the okay, talk to sheep. There's only two cities left. It is Trouserton and Resterton. Okay, so um, we are going to go to we're going to go to Trouserton because that's the other opposite one. Resterton's the same page though, so nobody's interested. Blah blah blah. Same text basically, but it's slightly different. Just so happens that Trouserton is above both Leperton and Resterton. Since he already visited Leperton, he heads down to Resterton. Okay, so this goes to the same page. Now, since it goes back to the same page, we can check option number three out, the bank. The bank seems quite busy as ghostly apparitions seem to be doing their daily banking. No one notices Max's men there. Max opens the door to the bank teller counter and looks around. While there's no actual physical coins around, there's a real looking bag in the back under the counter. Max grabs it and looks inside, contented, tells them his men they're going to go. I want to continue. And now we're at the final push. Okay, so I think I've been through most of them. There's a few little typos which I'd have to fix at some point, which maybe I can do that here next in a sec, but we're going to um, also let me try something here. Where is let's see, sheep don't speak. Secret stash. It ain't hey. Okay, where is it at? It's not the final push. The final push. The final push. There we go. Let's copy this. Copy. Okay. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do this anyways. So I'm just gonna place that particular page in here. And we're already there, so it didn't change obviously, but that's just so that later I can come back here. The final push. Max proposes. Okay, that's the upper one. That's the old text. This is the newer text here. Max joins Zanzibar's show at some village, and then chats with him after the show. Max proposes one final big show in the hotel since Max has enough people for his mines. Zanzibar agrees to Max's proposal because he feels like he has enough money to live like a king. Zanzibar performs his last show, and Corvus, his pet crow, steals money from the audience as usual. It wouldn't continue. At the Grand Enchanted Landian, Max tells. Okay, that's the old one, the new one, the current one. Okay, Max waits off stage as people start to mill about after the show. Then someone from the crowd cries out that their money has been stolen. Soon another and another. Eventually, the crowd angrily crowds around him. Zanzibar cries for help, but Max and his men leave silently. Zanzibar then thinks quietly for various distractions he can produce. Now, this little double dash here, and then this line is where I put the decision point. So that's an old piece of text left in too. There is a thing here where Max betrays Zanzibar, and he's the one that originally called out from the audience that he took their money. But the idea here is, even though it doesn't actually say it, is that several of the men being in the audience, they all start yelling, he stole our money, and so that all the crowd gets mad and they start going after him. So that's why they leave silently. They leave because they've done their duty, you know. Okay, so hit 1 to distract them, so hit 2 to do the cabinet disappearance trick, hit 3 to release hundreds of birds. Okay, so 1, the only thing he can think of is a smoke bomb. Zanzibar quickly produces a piece of flash paper, crumples it into a ball, turning his palm upward, places the crumpled ball into his hand. He then lights. When it burns up, smoke starts seeming to pour out from his hand. Eventually, the whole room is filled with smoke as he runs out the back. Going to continue. Okay, so new chapter, right? Okay, so let's go back here. Let's hit 1 to continue. Do the cabinet disappearance trick. The teleportation cabinet is still on the stage, so he decides to get in it. When the door opens by itself, he's gone. Okay, that was I need a one to continue here, in there. So, that still works. Hit one to continue. It's just not in the text there. Anyways, so let's go back one more time. Hit one again. Uh, three. Zanzibar remembers he has a master chord that will open all the bird cages in case he wants to do that for a finale. Zanzibar starts running off the stage as the crowd closes in, and he yanks the bird cage cord. Suddenly, hundreds of birds fly out into the stage and out into the room, confusing everyone in the process. Zanzibar makes his escape in the confusion. And there we go. And everything is hunky-dory. Everything seems to work. And great. So now let's go back to the layout tool. Actually, yeah, we're on the layout tool scene. Um, and it's called layout tool because I'm building a tool off of it. In fact, if I run this scene here, um, you have things here. You can zoom in, zoom out. You can select stuff. I don't have any saving there. You can multi-select. You can shift adds. If you use control, it toggles, and then just selecting selects. Anyways, but it doesn't do anything more than that right now. I had decided to restart the whole phase one deal to make it shorter, smaller, and to take less time. So then I stopped working on the actual layout tool portion. So I'm just kind of in the middle of making the game now. But anyways, so that's chapter 10. Anyways, let's pull these up here. Uh, that one's good. Okay, so this is what I was talking about here. These are 1, 2, and 3, and they're separate pages. All right. Actually, these are actually good here, right? Nothing I need to. Oh yeah, I need to hit one to continue. You don't know the instructions if the instructions aren't displayed, because it's a real simple. The engine's real simple, basically. So any instructions that you give it have got to be in the description here, or else you don't see the instructions, so you don't know what to press. It doesn't use us like a separate like deal for instructions or whatever. Okay, so let's check this out again. Okay, let's actually capitalize these because these are like major titles. Last show. And let's go ahead and we're gonna delete the old one here. We're gonna delete this guy here, and we'll save that. Control S. And when I Control S saves the scene in redot. It does not save the actual data. Save room data actually saves my room data. Why? Because later on, when I build the tool out, I'm gonna have it use that same code to actually save the room data to disk. Anyways, so we got the final push here. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and we're gonna get rid of that. So, and then we are going to this one. Where's the one that had the missing period here? Takes not too long to wait. Ghost comes up. Jules opens the safe. Big bag in there. Okay. Daily banking looks around. Counter. I think there's more than a couple little, more than a little couple typos in here, but that's okay. I'm not that worried about it. To the first pass. This is what I call the event pass. So basically, this is just kind of a matter of fact. You know, he does this, then he does this, then he does this, and then later on, I'll go back through all the rooms and I'll make a F, right, B, C, D, not B. Okay, so let's see. Hayloft. Finally in the hayloft. near the front of it. Fine. Okay, finally in the hayloft. Let's see that. Let's change that a little bit. Find the massive bag of coins near the ladder to the loft. He takes it and they leave. Okay, so that's fine. We're gonna go back up here, the secret stash. Here. There's for a moment. So the hotel safe could also work. Okay. Okay, so here's the deal. Let's put this in a cooler looking configuration here. All I'm just doing is just rearranging it visually, just for my own, for fun, I guess. My own. Yeah. Let's get this straight up. Straight up. Okay. Yeah. Let's actually. Yeah. Let's zoom in so I can see it. Straighten it up. Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's move this guy up here like this. Okay. So actually, let's move these in here too. All right. So that is okay. So the secret stash, Resterton. Okay. So basically, I have to do these like forwarding tricks, right? So it still goes forward, but here there's three options you can do, right? The three options are the our Trouserton, Resterton, which is this one right here down the middle bottom, and then this is Leperton right here. Um, there's a story behind the names. Trouserton, they make the best trousers in Enchanted Lands, and Leperton was an unfortunate error because originally they were going to call it Leap Town because that they have the leaping sheep, the sheep that jump over the fence when you're counting sheep, right? So they were originally going to call it Leap Town, and then they decided on Leaperton to make sure it had parity, and then the guy that filled out the form misspelled Leaperton and left out the A, so now it looks like Leperton, and now nobody wants to visit there because it sounds like it's full of lepers. Anyways, okay, so see, okay, so what I have here is I got Trouserton here. New pair is the name of the page, and over here, Sheep Don't Speak is over on the right side, and so the only two options left are Resterton and Trouserton. So if you pick Leperton first, then it gives you those two options. Now if you're at the bottom here, then the only other option is Resterton down there. So this is like the same one through all of these three deals. So you could actually bypass some stuff. Vendor. Oh, fine. I'll look at it. Uh, Leper is one of the strongest front lines tank support heroes in the Darkest Dungeon with skills and attributes that greatly boost the team's survival. Okay. Anyways, let's go back to my game. Okay, so let me check these out real quick. Nobody's interested. Invincible as a pair. It's gone south. Uh, hit one to continue. This one. So this way you go to the same places, but it doesn't go in a loop. It can't go in a loop. But since Resterton is where you finally ultimately want to go, you can pick that as one of the options. You don't have to go through the other options. So if you pick that first, then you bypass the other options. Max tries Lieberton first. Apparently doesn't know anything. Uh, but it only responds with its bleeding. The only 2 cities left. Okay, we'll close that. Let's go over here. Let's check this one out. Trouserton eventually buys a pair of trousers. Might have gone south. Okay, that's fine. And then this is another Leperton one. Uh, video game character type. Yeah, I just looked at it. It's all good. Look later. Uh, Max tries Leperton. Blah blah blah. Last show. Might as well ask the sheep as ask them. One of them tends to talk to the sheep. The only city. Okay, there's that. Oh, okay. And somehow I need to find that one that doesn't have a period. Maybe this main one doesn't have a period. Let's remove this, which was the original. Small bag, full of Corvus location of South Tri-Cities area. Okay, that's fine. Easy money. Okay, let's go ahead and that. Okay. When no one is looking. Okay. And let's go ahead and save it. And let's go save the room data. So now it's in the room data. And there we go. So chapter 9 is done. And I got 15 minutes to spare. How about that? That's how good I am. Darkest Dungeon. I might look at Darkest Dungeon maybe sometime. If I ever play games again. You know, like I got a bunch of free games. I got tons of free games everywhere. And I don't even play them. Of course, I'm on Linux now, so maybe some of the games from Epic Store I can't play anymore. I might be able to play quite a few of them now, though. I gotta try a wine or whatever pops up when I try to run these games. I got what's it called? I got it? Games. Oh, you know what? I don't actually have whatchamacallit installed. What's it called? It starts with an H. It's where you can actually look at Epic. Um, where you can play Epic games. It's starts with an H. It's a launcher that runs either bottles or wine. I forget specifically what it runs, so that you can play other games. But I haven't installed that since I installed regular Linux Mint on here. So okay. So anyways, so that means that starting on Monday, I'll be working on where is it at? Nope, not chapter 10 yet. Um, you know what? Let's see something here. Chapter 10. You know, I was kind of lamenting the fact that I wasn't working on the full story arc for the princess because I seem to get done quicker. No. It's not a virtual machine it's not a virtual machine host or whatever. It starts with it's a games launcher that you can put Epic Games into and GOG I think into it and whatever. Just can't remember what it's called. Uh, oh, fine, I can find it though. Let's see here. Okay, I can switch. I'm good with that. Okay, so what can I use to launch Epic Games in Linux Mint? I guess. Um, it should pop up. Heroic. There we go. Heroic Games Launcher. That's what I'm talking about. Heroic. I had Heroic on LMDE when I had that installed on here. So I don't have that installed yet on here. So I gotta do that maybe, and I can play some more games maybe. Okay. So let's go back to where's my program? Where's my game here? Okay, so um, chapter 5 was the princess trapped in the hotel, and then chapter 8. Where is chapter 8? Down. That's why. That's my problem. That's chapter 7. Here's chapter 8. The Princess Great Escape. Well, Lost in Lapswood actually continues that story because it's after they escape from the Grand Enchanted Land that they end up retreating to Lapswood, and that's where they actually meet Sir William the Unicorn, and he's actually trapped in Lapswood, and he kind of forgets where he is and who he is and all that. Um, but I can actually treat chapter 8 and chapter 10 as a single narrative, and I can go in and make sure if I need to rewrite the narrative and everything. Um, and then the next thing, that's all part of the same arc, the same story chunk. So the princess is trapped in the Enchanted Land, and she tries to escape. She finds some vital information, but she's recaptured. Then our heroes come in and they rescue her, which is in chapter 8, which is the one I'll be working on next on Monday. And then once they escape, then they go into Lapswood and they get lost and they forget themselves. And so I can kind of treat that as part of the same story arc. Here, let's do something here. This is fine. Let's go ahead and close this. Let's go ahead and uh, oh, new. Okay. And let's go ahead and copy. I guess I'll copy it directly from the thing here. Chapter 8. I'll copy that into the text file, paste, and then we'll go ahead and go to chapter 10. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, I went too far. Easy money. Oh, 10. Here we go, Lost in Lapswood. Uh, boy, there's only 3 of these, but these are big, chunky scenes here. Let's go ahead and copy that. So this kind of ends that sort of whole story arc with the princess. The princess is still in it, obviously, in the game, but I mean, this is its own story in here. Let's just go ahead and we'll leave the chapter title in here, and but we'll treat it as the same. Here, 320. Okay, so this is what I'll be working on next here. As they go in the kitchen of the Grand Enchanted Land, they find a secret passage in the wine cellar. Inside the wine cellar, John hits the guard who's watching the princess with a heavy wine bottle. They go back upstairs to the kitchen. They try to walk out of the side doors to the kitchen calmly and slowly. The Black Knight rides up to the Grand Enchanted Land on his black charger. Hubert and company calmly exits the kitchen. The guard that was guarding the princess is in the cellar, stumbles out, and yells she's escaped. They then run to the wagon and they take off as the Black Knight begins to chase them. The Black Knight chases Hubert and company in their wagon across the open land. They come upon the edge of Lapswood, the bare forest still pursued by the Black Knight. They go into the forest, and before they know it, they're lost among the leafless trees. Okay, chapter 10 says, somewhere in the middle of the bare forest, they spot a unicorn. The unicorn stands around but doesn't run away as they approach. The princess hops out and starts petting him and talking to him. John then mentions he read a book on unicorn sign language once. And that's a little setup that I did early on. Is Hubert tries to do a spell where he's trying to conjure something. I forget what he's doing exactly, but he manages to conjure a book. Shows up in midair. This unicorn sign language book, and then it goes poof, and then in its place is Beauty and the Beast, which is actually from a library, the same library that John actually works at. So so there's like a little mix up, and then during the course of when John is working at the library because he works there, he notices this book and he keeps on popping out keeps on jumping off of the rack, and so um, they just tell him to go ahead and take it with home with him, and so he takes it and he reads it. It's called Unicorn Slang Language, and it's really a goofy thing, and he just thinks it's funny. But then he encounters a unicorn here, and he's able to talk to the unicorn with the sign language. John, okay, so John then mentions he read a book on unicorn sign language once. John gestures to the unicorn, and they proceed to talk, quote unquote. When John and the unicorn are finished, John translates and says he's forgotten where he was going and it's lost. He then says he must be losing his memory because they're in Lapswood. Um, and that's the back in Lapswood. The reason it says back in Lapswood is because I had some more pages in between there. I interleaved the pages really carefully, but when I was rebooting phase one, so to speak, I had to combine them. I was combining them all into into the single chapter. So so it says back in Lapswood, but anyways, Hubert realizes this may be Sir William and then casts a spell to change it back. The spell doesn't work correctly, but allows the unicorn to talk to them in human speech. The unicorn is able to remember his name, and they all is unable to remember his name, and they all start walking together. Soon nobody remembers what they were doing. They all stop walking and stand and stare at each other. Standing in the middle of Lapswood, John notices Hubert wearing blizzard garb and suggests he casts a spell or something. Hubert reaches into a bag and pulls out some hats and puts them on and wiggles his fingers. When he does this, they're instantly teleported elsewhere. Hubert and company wake up on the road and confirm it was definitely Lapswood because of splitting headaches. Hubert recognizes the road and they travel without event to the Batson Belfry Hotel, which is now a motel. Which you don't have motels. Motels are a modern invention to do with cars and stuff, relatively modern, and um, but I called it a motel because it has a moat around it. I think it was ChatGPT suggested, and I went, you know what? That's probably a good idea. I can still call it a motel then, and it's just a different kind of motel. Instead of a motor inn, instead of a motor hotel, it's a hotel with a moat. So it's a motel. Anyways, they travel. Okay, so that's the chapter I'm gonna be working on tomorrow. It doesn't actually look like there's a lot of things to do in this though. I mean, it's like an action scene, like a cutscene, right? Because they're escaping, they go and they're chased into Lapswood, and there's not much room for any kind of agency. Like, let's go and do this, or let's solve this little puzzle thing here. So that's gonna be kind of tough for me to work. Yeah, yeah, and to be fair, I didn't come up with that myself. I was just like, motel, and well, actually, I don't know. Maybe I did come up with that. I'd have to actually go back through the streams to find out. At that point, did I actually come up with that myself, or you know, something to do with the moat? Anyways, I don't know if it was me or if it was the AI. I guess that's kind of the danger of the AI because the AI could have thought of it. Anyways, I thought it was funny. I was just like, motel, because it has a moat on it. Yeah, that sounds good. I can keep it as moat. Then, um, anyways, I spelled it like a regular motel, but I probably should add the A in there, right? Motel to be funny. Anyways, it'd be like you read it that way. So I probably actually put that in there. Anyways, let's save this. Save as. Uh, the Great Princess Rescue. Uh, let's go to dev stuff. Not dev stuff. Let's go to favorites. Let's go to this. Let's go to design. And I was been saving these in here. So let's call this um, the great the Great Princess Escape. That's actually probably what I should have called the chapter, but that's all right. The TXT. Let's leave it. Save. Okay. Good. And it looks like I'm about time to be done today, and I'm done. And I got this week we got two chapters done today. So now I'm about approximately halfway through. Um, so we did 1 through 6, then we did 7 and 16. No, 7 and 9. 1 through 5, 6 and 16. Okay, that's 7 of them. 7 and 9. That's 9 of them. So approximately halfway through. We'll say almost or about halfway through, which is good. Which gives me hope that I could maybe finish this phase or this pass by the end of March. Hopefully, we'll see. I guess I still have what I still have like 11, 10 or 11 chapters to go yet. So 5 weeks. 5 weeks. We're already in the first week, so yeah, I think I can make it by the end of March. I think if I'm able to keep up this thing of doing at least 2 chapters a week. But that's good. That's good. Anyways, so yeah, everybody, thanks for listening or watching, popping in, or thank you to in the future for you that are watching the videos later, VODs later, and I will see you tomorrow. Or no, I won't see you tomorrow. See ya. Well, actually, I will see you tomorrow. Here, let's go to webcam. You probably don't want to see my face here, but I will try to be on tomorrow. It just depends on how the day goes. And I'm going to try to use a new service. It's called Meld Multi, and they're free right now while they're supposedly in beta. I don't know if they're going to change their pricing model later. My guess is that they are. And there's also a possibility that maybe if you're in on the beta, maybe it'll still be free for you. I'm not really sure 100%. But I'm going to try that, and if I'm successful on there, I'm going to try streaming to Twitch and Kick as well. And there's a couple other platforms I think that I could go on, but I'm probably not doing Facebook because I'm not going to get a Facebook account. I don't know if I could do it to X or not, and we're still kind of iffy on staying with X and whatever. Anyways, so yeah, so join me tomorrow if I'm on. It's not going to be on a regular time. It'll probably be around 11 o'clock. It'll probably be around the time that I start part one. Usually, give or take, but I can't be like certain like for sure because I don't know how tomorrow's going to go. Anyways, thank you for watching part two, and I will see you at least on Monday if I don't see you tomorrow. Okay, thank you for watching part two.